Yeah, the way I see it is Vipassana as a practice, if it was directed to focus on a specific sensation, it would be very problematic because it's about the ability to flow through whatever is appearing, just like Vipassana is pointing to, and that's going to, in a sense, start to clear the what, let's say, is more on the surface. But it will happen. What I'm talking about with doesn't begin as a strong sensation. It actually is the most subtle, deep thing. And as we start to clear everything and be able to move through everything and flow and not get attached to, which is the problem in the kind of foundational practices, is the attachment to certain sensations and thoughts. So what we do want to do is to move, and that's the kind of foundational practice, like staying with the breath or Vipassana. Observe thoughts and not get attached. Observe the train of thoughts, train of sensations. But it's going to happen if you keep doing that and go deeper and clear and be able to move through. There's going to be some core energetics that will also be changing and moving. They won't be, when I say it's one core sensation, it's going to be a kind of a core energetic that, as I said in the meditation, is like a chameleon. It will change shape and form and flavor, but the more you clarify, it's going to be this kind of one big no, which is why, and it's going to be really subtle at first, but the more you get close to it, the more it becomes like a screaming no. And that's what I'm talking to Jason about, where it's very different if we were if he was sharing a different experience, right? We would address it differently. But once you start relating and touching that kind of deeper energetic, then I would recommend an experiment or an exploration where it's about how can I touch that more directly and not push it away. Because there's another aspect of, if I'm just trying to move through, it might be an avoidance of something. And so there is a bit of a balance there, and it has to do with kind of the intuition, which I was referring to with Jason. There's an intuition of, am I now in avoidance or am I in attachment? So am I avoiding a sensation or am I attaching to a sensation? And so we might be able to start intuiting in that practice of moving through. I might at some point come to a way of practicing that is saying no to some sensations. And so I might invoke something might move and appear that I'm like, oh, no, not that. I'm moving to the head now. I'm moving to this other space. And that is something that can be recognized as you practice. Your intuition and your capacity of seeing the kind of mechanisms of the mind, you will recognize like, oh, that's me jumping away from something. Why don't I just stay with that a little longer, see what's happening, and then maybe move through. But it will start to happen if you. And you will see in descriptions from people who have gone deep and had profound awakenings, where it's like something gets, in a sense, ignited that you cannot avoid. But it's actually revealed because you've seen through all of the kind of noise. And when that starts to happen, there's going to be kind of a practice needed. It's not a practice, but it's an invitation of a relationship to something that is really hard to be with.